from American Dream. Full show here until Yankee pregame, brought to you by the New Jersey Hall of Fame here at American Dream. And Surfside iced tea and vodka, sunshine in a can. Usually I work with a legendary giant. That's okay, but now I'm surrounded by legendary Jets. First, we got the great Wayne Chrebet. Give him a round of applause. And I was mad at you for about a year when you went to Washington, but then you came home, the great Laveranues Coles. Thank you, fellas, for coming on. How you guys doing?
Good. Thanks for having us. Great atmosphere here with the Mets hitting all these home runs.
Yeah, I know. This has been fun. And I've been saying this to Tiki for the last week.
I was a Yankee fan my whole life. Then I started rooting for the Mets when I knew him. But Willie Randolph took over the Mets. I started rooting for both. So I'm happy for both teams to be doing well.
Right. So you're not a hater of the one team.
I'm not a hater of any New York team.
That's right.
You know,
that's the right answer.
Who hates other New York teams? That's so childish for people to do that.
And Morash over there.
I've been saying it, Tiki, as a Jet fan, this game tonight against Buffalo is the biggest game they've played in 9 years. And I think that says a lot about where the franchise has been. Tell me your guys' thoughts on the magnitude of what's at stake as they take on Buffalo tonight.
I knew you was going to lead me first. Again, it's a great opportunity ahead of the team. I think everybody's still excited about where they are. Me personally, I think they're going to have to come out early and play well to establish themselves. They haven't looked too well to me in the last couple of weeks. Well, to establish themselves offensively. Defense is always going to be solid. They're going to stay steady. But I just think offensively they need to come out and have a rhythm early to have a chance to win this game, because if not, you can't allow Josh Allen to get going or you fall behind. I don't think our offense is built to come back.
Right. Did you guys ever have a play caller change in the middle of the season? Because I did have that once when Jim Fossil took the play calling away from Sean Payton. And so it kind of worked, but it kind of didn't work. Did you guys have that at all?
No, I don't think I ever had that. You?
I've never had that happen through my career, but I think the first 7 years of my career, I think I had 6 different offensive coordinators. So that's that kind of comparable.
That's almost worse.
Yeah, so it's just one of them things where these guys have to have some continuity. But again, from what I understand, it's Aaron's offense. Right. He knows it. He's been directing it. So I think pretty much whatever they call in, he's probably going to be at their mercy to change it and get them into the right plays and make things happen.
Yeah, I didn't have as many OCs, but I had like 17 quarterbacks.
Yeah, we're well aware as Jet fans.
Hey, you're talking about the significance of tonight. Yeah, obviously we're upset. You know, this is going on, that's going on, but we are playing for first place tonight.
I know.
And it feels like we're having a terrible season, but we're playing for first. But we were 0-2 in 98. We went to the AFC Championship. So maybe we're just slow starters, but we are playing for first place tonight. We got to remember that.
I think that you're right, Wayne. That gets lost when we talk about teams that are underperforming. The NFL in total, there's a couple of teams that are really good. Minnesota's undefeated. The Kansas City Chiefs are undefeated. But then it kind of starts to fall into everybody else. Yeah. So that nobody's running away with any of this league yet.
But you know as well as anybody, if you just get to the game,
right,
get to the playoffs, you need a 3-game winning streak. Right. You know, you need a ticker tape right in New York City.
No kidding. You know, it's funny. You talk about the 98 team. I also think about the year that winning the last time the Jets won the AFC East, which is still very vivid in my memory, 22 years ago in 2002. It felt like it came out of nowhere because you needed help final week of the year. You beat Green Bay, and it was almost like walking out of Giants Stadium. It was like, did we just win the division? How the hell did that happen? How did that feel when that was going on? Did it take you by surprise the way it felt like it did for us fans?
Yeah, it was crazy because you go from maybe not making the playoffs to actually winning the East. And if any fans were there, they were telling us, you know, the team's driving and kick it. And you hear the place go bananas, louder as I ever heard it, but it was during like a TV timeout.
Right.
And they showed it on the big screen. And Favre was playing for home. When they snapped the ball, we just put it on them, by 40 or whatever. That was a great day and a great year.
Truly memorable for all of us. I think, like I say, everybody that was there understood what was happening when they announced that they had won the game. I think New England ended up winning or something like that to help us out. And from there, we just poured on Wayne. I think he scored, I don't know how many touchdowns that game. I was just excited to be a part of it, get a T-shirt and a hat.
We as fans want the T-shirt and hat again. I mean, it's amazing that's the last time.
The simple things.
Yeah,
the little things.
Dude, well, I want to walk around with the Jets AFC Eastern Division Championship hat. You kidding me?
It's a relic. It's vintage.
I know. One thing from afar as a fan, it feels like Aaron's connection with Garrett Wilson just isn't there. How long does it normally take to kind of develop that chemistry with a quarterback as a wide receiver?
Well, you got to understand, Garrett has played with some other guys prior to Aaron coming in.
Not as good.
And from what
I said it. You didn't have to.
Okay. So from what I understand, the other quarterbacks that were in the system kind of allowed Garrett just to kind of freelance and give himself the opportunity to get open. And Aaron is more of a, 5 yards out, ball's coming, 10 yards in, ball's coming, more of a timing guy.
Right.
And so it takes time when you've got a guy that's really had to work hard to create something for himself with other guys that wasn't as talented as Aaron. So Aaron, when you're not where he expects you to be, probably comes off of him a little quicker than the other guys have, which is not giving him as many targets and his opportunities as he should get. But again, Garrett's going to have to be patient and understand that he's working with a first ballot Hall of Famer, and just continue to get in the film room and work with the coaches on figuring out how to get himself more involved early, because believe it or not, it's just like with running backs or anything in the game, you have to get them involved early so that they feel like they're part of the game. If you allow the game to go too far without him being a part of it or feeling like he's a part of it, he can get lost in the mix. And so he just has to be patient. We know he's a great talent. He's going to be probably one of the greatest Jets wide receivers to ever walk through the building. And just have fun. That's all I can tell him, because right now it ain't fun.
It's interesting you say that about Aaron, because I keep hearing this when I go on the road, and I talk about, what do you think Aaron Rodgers is like with the Jets? What's that system like? And they're like, they're trapped in Aaron's system. And you heard Tom Brady mention something about this as well, how they dumbed down football for quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And what that means really is when things aren't 1-2, he's just going to scramble.
Yeah.
And so now you got to find somebody. And C.J. Stroud is great at doing that. Joe Burrow did it last night a couple times. Like, you're seeing some of these younger quarterbacks have success because it's backyard football.
Yeah.
Like Lamar does this half the time.
Yeah, all the time.
You know, so, but if you're with Aaron Rodgers, he doesn't want to scramble. He can, but he doesn't want to. He can't anymore because he's 40. But he wants timing. 10 yards, you need to be coming back to this football. 3 yards, you need to be on this slant. And so that's, I think, an adjustment for a lot of young wide receivers because they haven't done it.
And I mean, he's had 2 years of just scramble football.
Right.
I mean, Zach Wilson, that was one of his gifts, was he was able to scramble, use his legs, and create plays. Now that's not there. Again, Aaron is a guy that's going to drop back. He's going to hit his back foot. Ball wants to come out. If that first read isn't there and if you're it, he's coming to the next guy. He may not get back to you. So, like I said, I know it's frustrating for him. I've watched him the last few weeks, and the media asks you a lot of questions about why you aren't being productive and all of that. I've been there. I know the feeling. It's just one of them things you're just going to have to work through, and don't lose your confidence, because we all see how talented he could be.
No doubt. We're talking Laveranues Coles, Wayne Chrebet. We're live here at American Dream at the Dream Bar before the Jets and the Buffalo Bills. I was stunned. I think most of us were, about the Robert Saleh firing. Wayne, I'll start with you. What'd you think about it?
Yeah, I was pretty shocked too. I know it was a big loss out there in London, but certainly, like I said, we're 2-3 playing for first place tonight. So I didn't expect something, that big. And if there was going to be a shot fired, he was certainly not on the top of the list. We know Hackett is the problem right now. I'm not the only one saying that. And if they had decided already to have Downs call the plays tonight, I just don't know what changed from Monday to Tuesday. I'm sure that will come out, but at this point, all we could do is hope that the change sparks the team tonight.
And I just think it's a disappointing segment for the team right now, because they aren't in a bad position, but they're just not playing well. And we all know when we brought him in, he was a defensive coach. He's defensive-minded. So he brought in staff to help run that offensive side of the football, and that's not happening. So I didn't see how they would benefit from firing a defensive-minded coach, and the defense is playing pretty well. I don't see how that gives them an uptick in the right direction. Maybe I'm missing something because I'm not in the locker room.
Right.
But just based on my little low football IQ, I don't see it helping the team at all.
It also puts more pressure on Jeff Ulbrich, who was calling the defense already. So now he's got to be the head coach.
Yeah. And look, I have trust me, I can promise you this, I have a lower football IQ than you. I can promise you that. I never played the game. Oh, yeah, I did play two-hand touch when I was 8 years old.
Oh, lovely.
But it was 2-on-2, so it was really weird. My concern was, how does this help the team get better? And that's the thing that, as a Jet fan going into tonight, I want to be hopeful, because look, they're playing for first place. Wayne, you're right. Like, a part of me's jacked up thinking this could be a first-place team, but firing a coach in the middle of a season never works in the history of football.
Like,
so why now?
How does it make it better? But how does it make it worse? I don't understand. Like I said, something must have happened. Maybe it'll come out.
Right.
But listen, he had 4 plays with Aaron Rodgers last year, and he had 5 plays this week, this season. So it's kind of tough to figure out. Hope something comes out. But Saleh's, he'll find his place somewhere.
Right, he's fine.
But hopefully,
Great coach.
This sparks it up.
Well, maybe we can experiment. Maybe we could hire you like they did Jeff Saturday on TV. Something happens. Give us something. Maybe something happen to get us in the right
By the
direction.
way, how random was that?
Yeah, hey, man.
I've never seen that. I've seen it in other sports. Like, you hire somebody who comes from the broadcast booth and you turn into a great manager or whatever. You never see that in the NFL. Ever.
That's the thing. That's because in football, there's never.
Well, no. The thing in football, it is so hard to walk that ladder.
Right.
Like, to be the graduate, not even a graduate assistant, but like what do they call it? A quality control guy.
Right.
Then maybe you're a special teams guy. Then eventually you're a position coach. Then maybe you're assistant to the OC. And then you become the OC. Like, it takes so long to become a head coach.
Yeah. Look at John Lynch.
Yeah, absolutely.
He becomes a GM there, and the success he had. It's just a football mind. Like Chad and Vinny, bring them back and be calling the plays and stuff like that. It's just you either know football or you don't.
Yeah.
And I don't think Hackett knows much football.
Right. But we were talking about Jeff Saturday. I don't think Jeff Saturday knew any football. That was a weird situation with him.
No doubt. The Bills, they're a weird freaking team. So they lose a number 1 wide receiver in Stephon Diggs. It looked like it was actually benefiting Josh Allen and the Bill offense early on. They got off to a great start. Then they started struggling. Who knows how healthy Josh is. Like, the Bills are the team to beat. I respect that. They are in the AFC East. What's your overall thoughts on Buffalo and where they stand right now after a great start, losing a top wide receiver, and being in this spot where the Jets were a win away from taking the AFC East for the temporary time?
Well, I would look at it like this. I guess I would have to say I'm happy we're home because I know it's tough to go up into Buffalo and play in that environment in these conditions, and then have our fans here supporting us. To hopefully cheer us on to a victory later on, because that's what we need. The team needs some motivation. We don't need any negativity coming out of the locker room, because we know these fans will give it to you when they're not happy with you. That's for sure. So luckily we're home.
Are you going?
Am I going to the game? Yeah, I'm going to walk over there, just see how things go. If they start fussing at me, I will go back to the hotel and watch it there. I have no issue. I got no problem with that. But again, I mean, the excitement's in the building. I'm excited to be here and about the opportunity that we have in front of us. But that football instinct in the back of my mind always tell me, please start fast. Please start fast.
Well, you hit on something, and I wasn't even thinking about it that much. So I was in the building for the New England game, and there was such optimism. Yeah. Like, we were chanting, we were screaming. Everybody was happy, and then we got rewarded. The Jets played a great game. I think right now, based on the way they're playing, there's a lot of negativity. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers hasn't faced the wrath of the Jet fan quite yet. Ooh. They get off to a bad start. I could see Aaron hearing his first booze as a New York Jet quarterback.
It ain't fun, I can tell you that.
Yeah. Do you guys hear that kind of stuff?
I can give you a story about one of my old teammates, how they did us, and I ain't going to call his name out, but he played tight end. He was in my draft class, in case y'all know who it is. So one of the greatest things about, making it to the professional level is being able to run out and hear your name called. That's right. As you grew up as a kid, that's what you look forward to. Man, they're going to say my name. I get to run out in front of the fans. And as me being a split end, I was the first name called. So you hear me come out and Chad, they clap a little bit. Offensive line. And that tight end started, but boom, before we even kicked off the ball. And I was like, man. And Herm was like, listen, guys, we're going to have to run out as a team because we can't have these fans booing our guys. So I know they have no sympathy for us, so I get it. Just I hope they come out and play well early.
It's not personal, though, right?
Man, please.
That's the same thing when I was out there early in my career, and we had a quarterback who wasn't doing well. It was Neil O'Donnell.
Oh, yes.
And he was down by the side just with his helmet on. I don't know, he was thinking about stuff, so I went by him, and I just hear ping, ping. And I look, and it's like people are throwing like batteries.
Oh, my God.
Hitting people off the helmets. I look at them like, I left them alone, man. Playing quarterback in New York has probably got to be the hardest thing there is to do.
No matter what happens, it's your fault.
Yeah.
Even if it's not your fault, it's your fault. It's like the head coach or the quarterback. We said this earlier. They're going to get all the blame.
Right.
So, you got to have a thick skin, and it gets really hard to perform when you know everybody's just waiting to boo you.
Right.
I felt like that. What was the Jet game I went to where Zach started? Remember, I was at the game, and they were just waiting to boo him.
Oh, yeah.
And he actually played well
That's basically every game of Zach's career here.
Up until a point. And then he had a couple of bad plays, and then the boos came out.
But it's not waiting to boo somebody because we don't like somebody. It's waiting to boo because you're expecting this doom. Like, Zach Wilson is a nice kid. He was a terrible Jet. And wasn't all his fault. I get it.
Right.
Like, coaching wasn't good, talent around. I get all that. But I think it's the anxiety of, oh, my God, I just dropped $150 a ticket. I'm sitting here, and I'm frustrated. So it's never personal. Well, I can't say it never because I'm sure there are people that do it because it's personal.
Oh, yeah.
But I think for most fans, like most people here, it's just booing out of frustration based on the results. That's all it is.
Well, they're not waiting for the season. They're waiting for 14 years for playoffs and 50-something
There
years.
you go. Wayne gets it, man.
I get
no,
it.
you're right.
I'm a
You're right.
Jet Giant fan growing up, both of them, more Giants actually. But I see how people feel, and sometimes people come up and say, "Hey, I'm a diehard Jet fan." And I say, "I'm sorry, I apologize."
That's what I say.
I say, I tried my best. We tried your best. Listen, we're trying our best out there. Like, oh, you're not losing in the end to get a good draft pick. I'm like, no. I'm like, that's not how it is. They're trying. It just hasn't worked out. But
no football player ever thinks that.
No, we're due, man.
You guys think they're winning tonight?
Mets? I think the Mets are.
That's the easy answer.
Yeah, they're
right
up
now.
6. I think, they're definitely winning.
It's okay. You can be honest because I'll be honest with all of you. I think the Jets are losing tonight. And I had a positive feeling about a week ago. And you can boo me. That's fine. I'm a Jet fan. I mean, how many people are walking into the building tonight with confidence? Honestly. We just raised this hand.
That guy right there in the Josh Allen jersey.
Jets! Yeah. I'm just being honest. I had confidence last week. What a moron I was.
I want him to win, but I wouldn't risk anything on trying to win. That's all I'm saying. I'm cheering for him just as much as anybody, but I wouldn't.
I think that answer says it all. We appreciate it. Wayne, Laveranues, thank you very much for coming by. It's awesome seeing you. True Jet legends. Thank you, Laveranues. Laveranues, Coles, Wayne, Chrebet. Here at the Dream Bar at American Dream, we will come back. Sean's got a special Cinco de Five-O list. More on the Yankees, more on this.